Finally, thanks to all of you for being here this evening and for supporting JCRC. Have a good evening.
Please welcome JCRC of New York CEO, Mark Treyger.
Good evening. Good evening. There we go. Thank you to Eric Goldstein, UJA Federation of New York. Thank you for your support. Let's give it up for Eric. Before I get into my remarks, very briefly, I just want to recognize our dear friends in government who are here tonight. They might have been here during the cocktail hour. They're here during the dinner. Of course, we heard from the A-team, from the mayor's office. Thank you all from the mayor's team that are here. New York State Attorney General Letitia James, New York State Comptroller Tom DiNapoli, Congressman Jerry Nadler, Congressman Mike Lawler, Queens Borough President Donovan Richards Jr., Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine, New York City Comptroller Brad Lander, New York City Council Member Julie Menon, New York City Council Member Mercedes Narcisse, New York City Council Member Farrah Lewis. Apologies if I missed anyone. Also former members of the City Council, like Mark Treyger. I want to just, first of all, tell you what an honor it is to be with you all this evening, to our amazing board, to the amazing staff at JCRC New York, to the amazing friends and supporters. Some of you might know I just got back from my second trip in a few weeks from Israel with our partners from UJA Federation and others. And it really re-energizes the soul. It re-energizes and focuses us on the work that we're doing here on the ground. I visited with friends and leaders sites in Kibbutz Nirim, visited sites, Kibbutz Nir Oz, visited the Nova site. We stood amongst the ashes and the rubble of homes that were burned down, saw the tears running down the faces of college-aged young survivors at the Nova Music Festival site who were gathered at a festival that was dedicated to peace and togetherness. I will never forget those images. I will never forget those stories. I will never forget the smell of burnt ash at those burned properties. But as I've said before to folks who've asked me, Mark, tell us what's your main takeaway from now your second trip in a few weeks. Let me share this very clearly. And this is something that connects to the work that we're doing here each and every day. The Israeli people and the Jewish people, they were hurt on October 7th. They were hurt. But they are not broken. They were rocked on that day, but they are not caving. Bullets pierce through windows, bullets pierce through doors, bullets, yes, pierce through flesh. But bullets will never shatter or destroy the spirit of the Israeli and the Jewish people. Am I right about that? It is that same spirit of strength and resilience that traveled with my grandparents, both grandmothers, Holocaust survivors, both grandfathers, World War II veterans. It is that same spirit of resilience that traveled with them from Ukraine to here, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. That, yes, let's give it up to the best country in the world. It is the spirit that many of you and your families, very similar stories to mine, that help build a life for your children, your grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. It is the same spirit that ignites and fuels the incredible work of JCRC New York, where we introduce Israel and build support for Israel to the new generation of local, state, and federal leaders through meaningful, powerful trips to the beautiful country of Israel, where we, JCRC New York, make sure that we are in the room with leaders when decisions are made that concern the safety, the security, and the well-being of the Jewish people here in our great city, New York. And it is also about making sure that we are front and center in grassroots coalition building, multi-ethnic, multi-religious, multiracial coalitions to promote a more fair and just society, while, yes, promoting Jewish identity. Our history and story is more than October 7th. Our history and story is more than the Holocaust. Jewish Americans helped build New York and helped build the United States of America. Am I right about that? That is the work of JCRC New York, and we are committed with every fiber in our being to strengthening that work for generations to come. It gives me great honor to introduce next. First of all, if you hold up, you have a printed program on your great, beautiful tables. On the back of the program, there is a beautiful QR code. If you use your tech, as a former teacher, I used to say, keep your phones away. But now I'm going to ask you to take your phones out. If you see the back of your programs, a QR code, if you can kindly support the work of JCRC New York, because we're not going to rest until our hostages are home, until Israel is safe and secure for generations to come, until every Jew on New York City streets, on college campuses is safe, secure, and celebrated. We're not going back, folks. We're moving forward. Please support the work of JCRC New York. And it gives me the great honor to introduce next, to give a powerful l'chaim of hope, a former U.S. naval officer and our current dynamic Chief Development Officer. Please welcome Mark Wolf.